Well, hello there, what's up? Commando here. Welcome to my review of WrestleMania 32. And yes, that did rhyme, and I didn't mean to do that. But welcome to my review of WrestleMania 32. I thought this was a really good show, actually. I thought it was good. There were some really surprising moments, both good surprising and both sort of like, say what? Some really just there were some moments that really kind of just baffled me in a good way and a bad way. But then later on, I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, well maybe it wasn't that bad. But I really liked it. And if you're one of the people who just hates Roman Reigns and will think that the whole show is shit just because he won, probably best to leave because I don't agree with people who think like that. I've seen some of the people talking about that and how it's the worst WrestleMania ever because Roman Reigns won. Probably best to leave because I'm not like that. If you think like that, click on that little arrow and go somewhere else. But let's get to it now. The 17-hour pre-show. Kevin Owens had a really good promo on there at the start of it. I just thought it was so good. Just such a great promo by Kevin Owens. Just talking about all of his opponents. Just very good promo. And then it went on, and Lita was teasing some announcement, which we'll get to that in a little bit. And eventually they had a match right before, like just before the end of the first hour, which was Ryback versus Kalisto, and there was pretty much nobody there in the crowd. There was people there, but there was not a lot of people there yet. They should have left all the matches till like the third hour, or they should have opened the gates an hour earlier or something. There was pretty much no one there. It felt so bad for Kalisto and Ryback because they actually put on a pretty good match. I enjoyed it. And Kalisto looked like a freaking badass in his entrance. He had this badass mask thing and this jacket thing. He looked so cool. It was like his mask thing sort of reminded me of a little bit of like the Doctor guys in Assassin's Creed. You know those guys with like I don't know what it's called, but that thing, that like bird face thing. You know what I'm talking about. I thought it looked like that. He really cool. I just felt bad for them having to wrestle in front of pretty much nobody there especially in the front area. There was some people, but they should have left it till the third hour. Really, they should have done all the yapping in the first hour and then matches in the second hour, which is kind of what I'm pretty sure they did it last year. But Kalisto defeated Ryback 8 minutes 58. I kind of felt Kalisto was going to win it as the match kept going on because Ryback was kind of just wrecking him really. Eventually, he was just absolutely annihilating him really. And eventually, at one point, Kalisto he was in the corner and like Ryback pulled him off it or something, and the turnbuckle got exposed. Then Ryback got like dropped toe hold or something into the middle turnbuckle, which was exposed, and then Kalisto hit the Salida del Sol for the win. But I thought it was a good match, enjoyable match. A lot of people don't like Ryback and won't really admit when you see a good match. Like I don't like. There's some people I don't like. Well, I mean, I like pretty much everybody. It's mainly sort of the divas, just because or the women, because of some of the crap they do on like Total Divas and some of the crap that they speak. I sort of don't really like them, but I can admit when a match is good. Like I may not really like the person, but I can easily admit when a match is good. And this was a good match, but Kalisto won, still the US champ. Just think they should have left all the matches till more people was in. Then there was more talking, and then we get on to the next match, which was in the second hour, which was Team Total Divas defeating Team Bad and Blonde in a 10 Diva tag match. It went in 11 minutes 25 seconds, and it was all right. You know, it was what it was. It was okay. I thought that Lana looked incredible. I think she needs to learn how to wrestle more, and I think she just looked like a star. I thought Summer Rae too. I thought they looked really really cool. Um, I did. I thought they just when she had like a cape thing on. So does Summer Rae. I just thought they looked really really cool. Um, just I mean a typical kind of tag match as you would expect from them. Eventually, they all start doing their finishers. Oh yeah, Emma hot Page with a wheelbarrow suplex. That was really cool. That was a cool moment. Um, but yes, I seen a comment and somebody said that we didn't get to see Lana versus Brie, which is kind of where this whole thing started. And I was like, oh yeah, that was kind of how the whole feud thing started. Was Lana going after Brie, and we never really seen that happen. But eventually it ended with them all sort of doing their finishers and what have you, and Naomi had like the split leg and moonsault, but Brie, she's supposed to get her knees up, but it didn't really look like she did. She didn't get them up properly. At least it didn't look like it. It was kind of a bad camera angle. Then Bree's up top. Lana pushes her over. Then Naomi tries to go for the win, and then Brie put the yes lock in probably the most epic way I've ever seen. Like when it happened, I was like, that was amazing. It was so cool. Like, how was it again? I think Naomi was on her back, and then she did something, and then she did a roll, and then Naomi was on her belly, and then she had her in the yes lock. It was so cool. I can't even explain it. It was so cool. I thought that was just that ended really really well. I would have liked Naomi in that to win, because I think Naomi's just amazing. Same as Summer Rae, and Emma. They're all really cool. But it was all right, and apparently it's Bree's last match, so she's going away to make babies with Daniel Bryan. But then Nikki came out afterwards, and she came out in her ring gear, which I don't know what that was about. She had her neck brace thing on, and they all pose and hoist Brie up. And then they went back to the panel and talking about stuff. Then eventually they go to the ring where Lita's there, and there's the podium and the cover and the title underneath, and she talks about stuff, and she says that that they're more than divas, they're superstars, and she's her honor to reveal that the triple threat will be I don't really get this, will be the first ever WWE Women's Champion. Even though there's been a Women's Championship before, but the title is just pretty much exactly the same as the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, but it's white. And like the thing I don't like this. Like, I'm a big color combination guy, and this doesn't look right. The red behind the W just does not look good because of the red like line thing under the W. You know what I mean? Two different colors of red. It just doesn't work. It would have looked so much better if it was white, but even then, I don't think. I think they should just went for a completely new title instead of just a copy, pretty much, of the World Heavyweight title. I mean, it's still cool, but personally, I think the Divas title looks better than that one. It's just like that red thing just totally ruins it. It's maybe just me. I'm just a big guy on like colors and stuff. But I think the Divas title looked better, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But still a cool moment. Apparently it was going to happen on Raw, but then they shifted it to here. But yeah, it's alright. It's alright, I guess. It's not a major complaint. I'll maybe get used to it, but that red just... I don't like it. I don't like it. But maybe things will change as we go on. Moving on, we get to the next match, which was probably the worst match of the night. The Usos versus the Dudleys. It's only lasted 5 minutes 18 seconds. The Usos won. I just a typical tag match that you see in the WWE, and I can't. It just ended with a super kick. Like I think the Usos had about 10 super kicks in this match, and it was only 5 minutes long, and it ended with a super kick. And I was like, really? That's it? That was pathetic. It was just a pathetic tag match. And then afterwards, I thought, oh, okay, the Dudleys start beating them up. I thought we're gonna get the Dudleys, annihilate them, and then bring out the tables. But then, no, they get super kicked again. Fans are booing. They Usos put the Dudleys on the table, and Devon's table was almost. It was at the point of slipping. I thought, if they don't hurry up, this thing's gonna collapse. It wasn't like one of the legs was not upright. But then the Usos hit them through the tables, and that was it. I didn't like the match. It was just so basic and pointless. And apparently the Usos trunks paid tribute to Umaga. I didn't really see it. If you know what that was, I don't know. I was looking, but I couldn't really see anything. So if you know what that was, tell me. But yeah, I didn't really. It just seemed like a waste of time. Really, could have saved it for Raw, or you could have just had more action in the match. But it was just your typical boring match that we see all the time. Just waste of time. More randomness in the pre-show. By the time the pre-show was done, I was sick of it. Like, I enjoyed the pre-show for so much of it, and then I'm bored. Like, I enjoy the Raw pre-show. It's only half an hour. It's good, and the banter, I guess, between Booker T and Corey Graves and David Otunga and Scott Stanford is really good. But like even the hours before, just the 1 hour before the regular pay-per-views is kind of a bit much. But 2 hours it's overkill, really. But it was what it was. We go back to the thing and we get JBL and that coming out. Then we go on to the main show, and Fifth Jobany comes out, and they sing a song. They sing that America the Beautiful. It seemed, I was just watching and I was like, that was pretty much my facial expression the entire time. It was just no comment. I don't see the point of that stuff. I really don't. Like, we're here to see wrestling, not people sing. It's my opinion. But moving on, we get to the next match. And the most this match was, I couldn't believe the ending. Like, just totally surprised me. I couldn't believe it. I totally couldn't believe it. It was the ladder match. It lasted 15 minutes 23 seconds, and it was actually really good. I didn't think it was going to be that good, but it was actually really good. And Zack Ryder wins. Zack Ryder, I honestly thought he had no chance of winning it, and he won. I couldn't believe it. I thought when Miz at the end goes up, and I thought, okay, well, Miz is going to win. Okay, I guess that's. I mean, he's won the title before, and they haven't really done anything. But then Zack Ryder comes out of nowhere and shoves him off and wins. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. I was marking out. I thought that was an awesome moment. A lot of people are predicting already that he's going to lose the title on Raw, which would be such a dick move by WWE. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. He was so happy, Zack, and his dad came in and he like plonked a cowboy hat on him, and Zack was like, yeah, he threw it off. But it was a really good match. It was some pretty crazy spots, like Stardust getting nailed through the ladder by Sin Cara, like one of those, and there was just a lot of good moments. And Stardust had on like Dusty Rhodes like polka dots gear. There was a lot of guys with cool gear. Like, everybody had cool gear. Like, Miz had seriously cool looking gear. Dolph had some coolish gear. Sami Zayn had just had his regular. Like, Stardust had the thing. Sin Cara, I don't get, like, it was the same with Rey Mysterio at times. I don't get why they do like the all-in-one color, but they still have like a design. Like, you can't even see the design really. If that just had like the simplest little black outline or something, it would look so badass. But he just had like some plain white gear. Like, I just don't get that, how they have the same color all over, but there's like designs we can't even see it. If it just had a simple black outline, it would look so cool. But Zack Ryder had cool gear. He had like a cape thing as well. Kevin Owens had I think he had a KO Mania t-shirt and some new shorts too. Yeah, it was a very good match. And Kevin Owens did a frog splash on Sami Zayn, which when he was lying on a ladder, which was on the bottom rope. It was pretty cool. Ziggler at one point had the old sweet chin music. Just an action-packed match from start to finish. I was really, really impressed with it. Just definitely just the ending was so surprising. I couldn't believe it. I just about lost my shit when it happened. It was really cool. Really, really cool. Um, but yeah, I just I couldn't believe it. Honestly, couldn't believe it. I can't say enough how much I just was shocked by the ending of that match. It was so cool. Um, but on the next match, we have AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho, and this one totally surprised me. The ending of this one, I was like, what the fuck? It was lasted 70 minutes 10 seconds. Chris Jericho defeated AJ Styles. So apparently they must gonna have another match, and I would like to think that AJ Styles would win it and end the feud. It did kind of suck that he didn't win his WrestleMania first WrestleMania match, but maybe you know he'll have more WrestleMania matches in the future, so he's a chance to win then, I guess. But I felt this was probably one of their or the best match in the matches that they've had. I just thought it was good. And AJ Styles, oh my god, his ring gear, he looks so freaking cool. Like the red and white and black, just oh, so cool. I love that color combination. Just looks so badass. Looks so cool. The gloves as well was red and white. He looked so cool. He really did. But yeah, good match. Too much moments to really say. Again, like at one point AJ did Jericho's like springboard dropkick thing. Like Jericho went for it and he missed, and then Styles did it and he had it. And at one point Jericho went for the Styles clash. And then Styles went for it and he actually had it at one point, but he kicked out at 2. He got Codebreaker at one point and also kicked out at 2. Eventually, Styles does a springboard 450 for a 2 count. He then goes outside and is away looking for the phenomenal forearm. Jericho sort of like messing around with the referee, and then Styles goes for it and he gets Codebreaker and Jericho won. I was really surprised by that. I was like, what the fuck? But then, looking at it in hindsight, they're probably gonna have another match, maybe Extreme Rules or something, maybe a submission match or some sort of stipulation. But yeah, I thought it was a good match, probably the best match they've had. But I still feel that AJ especially can put on a much better match. I've seen so much better matches when he was in TNA. I know he's capable of a much better match. It's still a good match, but I feel he's capable of a lot more. But yeah, alright match. After this, we get a thing with Maria Menounos speaking to Zack Ryder. He said it's like the greatest moment in his life. And he said if he retired today, he'd be happy for the rest of his life. And he also said he would to go and speak to Razor Ramon and take a picture with him. And he does his woo woo woo, you know it, and walks away. Now, next. Another shocking result. The League of Nations, it was actually a 6-man tag. Barrett was ringside. 10 minutes and 3 seconds. The League of Nations beat the New Day. But the New Day had an epic entrance. They really did have an epic entrance. There was a giant box of Booty O's cereal on the stage, and then it tips over, and loads of Booty O's, or it looked like the Cheerios or something, came out, giant ones, and then the New Day and that come out, and they're wearing epic gear, and they do their intro, and apparently Xavier's hair was like something to do with Dragon Ball Z. Did they say Vegeta or Vegeta? I don't know. I used to watch Dragon Ball Z back when I was a kid, but I can't really remember much about it now. But they looked really badass and doing their usual stuff. It was an alright match, apart from Del Rio and his rash tolls. They sure loved doing that with him. But it was good, it was good. It was alright. Biggie got in and doing his belly to bellies, and he did like a double spear when they were on the apron, and Hot Barrett, who was also on the outside. Kofi holds Sheamus while Woods hits a big top rope stomp. Yeah, and he kicked out with that, that was their finisher at one point. Del Rio hits the stomp on Kofi while he was hanging off the apron to the outside. That looked pretty brutal. Barrett nails Woods with a bullhammer. This was the end. when the ref wasn't looking. Then Sheamus, I think Sheamus brogued him and got the win. And after the match, after the match, it was fucking insane. Barry gets on the mic and says there's no three-man team in history that can mess with them. This next moment was just fucking insane. Shawn Michaels' music hits and he comes out and he's in his ring gear. What the fuck? And then bloody Mick Foley comes out as Cactus Jack. And then Stone Cold comes out. I was expecting him to be in his bloody ring gear. He wasn't. He was just in his shirt and jeans. But I just couldn't believe this. They come out and they start beating up the League of Nations and hitting their finishers and what have you. This the manual claw, the stunner, the switching music. And Rusev, oh my god, he sold the stunner so well. He sold it so well. That was awesome. Eventually they get them all out and they're doing the beer stuff. And the New Day's music hits and they all start dancing. HBK gets into it. Mick Foley gets into it. Austin, he starts getting into it, doing a little clapping, and then he bloody stuns Xavier, and then they just go nuts with the beers and stuff. It was an awesome moment. Totally surprising moment. And that kind of moments right there is why I watch live. Because if I watched that and knowing it was happening, it just wouldn't have the same effect. That was such a cool moment. Just totally surprising and unexpected and unpredictable. Just very good moment. And Austin was just soaked in beer. Apparently it was his own beer. It was like an interesting design. Apparently it's his own beer that he has. And Foley gave a beer. Apparently it was to Frank the Clown, who's his daughter's boyfriend at ringside. He did give it to some clown. I was like, oh, okay, that must be that his daughter's boyfriend. Apparently that's what it says here. Anyway, and after we get to the next match, which is probably I was quite disappointed by this match. We were on to the no holds barred street fight with Brock Lesnar defeating Dean Ambrose. 30 minutes and 6. I honestly really thought this was going to be a brutal match where Dean was just going to get annihilated. It was still a good match, but I just thought it was going to be so much more, and I felt kind of let down by this match. He got German suplexed a gazillion times, and there were some sick moments where he landed on chairs where the chairs were the wrong way up, which must have hurt like fuck. Same with Brock, he landed on it as well. They brought out the barbed wire bat, and Dean Ambrose started like making love to it. Legit, I'm not joking. But yeah, I was quite disappointed with this match. I really thought there'd be more. Ambrose did bring out the chainsaw at one point. He tries to crank it up, but Brock, belly to bellied him on the outside. But yeah, I was very disappointed by this match. Eventually Lesnar nails the F5 on top of the chairs and wins. I really thought that was going to be a brutal match that would elevate Dean Ambrose, but it didn't. They should have done it where Lesnar just annihilated Dean Ambrose and Dean Ambrose just kept coming back, but they didn't do that. I was really disappointed. Even afterwards I thought Lesnar might have destroyed him some more, but he didn't. Yeah, at one point Lesnar put his head out the ring and Ambrose blasted a fire extinguisher in his face. But afterwards as well, when Lesnar was, walking away, he grabbed the fire extinguisher and sort of blew it up in the air, and it was like landing on the ref and Dean in the ring. But yeah, I was quite disappointed by that match. But I thought maybe the Wyatts would come out or something. Some people thought that the Wyatts would maybe come out and do stuff to them, but they didn't. Afterwards, there was a backstage segment for Snickers where Ric Flair and Zack Ryder are comparing woos, and Dolph Ziggler appears and does it correctly because Zack Ryder was going woo woo woo, and then Zack Ryder eats a Snickers and then he turns into Charlotte. Yeah. Then they showed the Hall of Fame thing and introduced all the peoples, and then they showed the women's title thing again, and then we're on to the women's title match. Probably my favourite match of the night. Yeah, I'm going to say I would say this was my best match of the night. I really enjoyed it. Um, the ending was I didn't really get the ending. Charlotte won, defeating Becky and Sasha by submission, due to interference from Ric Flair again. But Sasha Banks' entrance was pretty cool. She had Snoop Dogg, and apparently this person was called Raven Felix, who was singing Sasha's theme. Um, but yeah, it was really cool. And Sasha had ring gear, which apparently was inspired by Eddie Guerrero from No Way Out 2004. I need to look into that. I need to go and check that out. It's something I want to do. Maybe we'll just do it right now. I meant to do it before. I'll just have a quick look right now. No Way Out 2004. I think it's 2004. Oh yeah, the red and the green. Yes, yes, yes. It was. uh, but I wasn't sure like Charlotte was going to come out with the Divas title or not, but she did, and she had on a pretty cool robe, and they said that it was made out of pieces from the robe that Rick wore in his retirement match, which was that was pretty cool. But yeah, they got a cool entrance and what have you, and they did the formal ring introductions like where Lillian's in the ring and they're all in the ring before they like they do for the world title. Um, but yeah, really really good match. Just action packed from start to finish. I loved it. It was really good. Just a great match. Just a really great match. There was one point where like Becky was like going for like a German or something, and then Sasha jumped over them and looked like she was going for like a sunset flip type of thing, but she like overshot it. But they fixed it quickly. Becky hit the German, and then Sasha sort of rolled her up. Apart from that, that the match was great. Sasha hit a frog splash at one point, while Charlotte was doing the figure four on Becky. Becky hit this like pump handle rock bottom thing, which was pretty sweet, and there was some back splexes. It was just an awesome match. It really was an awesome match. Yeah, what happened again? Becky did a suicide dive to Flair and absolutely wrecked him. That was pretty sweet. Eventually, oh yeah, Sasha hits the backstabber in the bank statement on Becky again. Then Charlotte throws Sasha out, and then Charlotte does the figure four and bridges it while Rick holds Sasha from getting in. Was pretty disappointed by that, but the match was so good, which I was okay with. I was like, oh well, okay, the match was really good, so I suppose I can get with it. But I really feel Sasha or somebody should have won. If they do a thing on Raw, like they did with Paige, maybe like some people think Bayley might come in, but I don't know. I mean, I feel they should have just had a new champion at WrestleMania. Shaw's been champion a long time, but I don't know. The match was really good though, so I suppose I can deal with it, Bautista style. But yeah, great match. Just wish Sasha or Becky had won. And if you've seen some of the video packages, like that WrestleMania Diary thing, Sasha was pretty emotional afterwards. And Cole was saying it was like a new era and what have you. And same with like the pre-show, they were saying that they're superstars now and they won't be using the diva term anymore. But next we get on to the Hell in a Cell match with the Undertaker defeating Shane McMahon in 30 minutes 5 seconds. Holy shit! I didn't realize it was that long. So she said, ooh. And yeah, it was an alright match. It was quite slow for the most part. Just slow paced. It's not like there was rash holds or anything like that, but it was just very slow paced. But Shane's entrance was really cool. Like he brought his kids out and they were all doing the entrance and the thingy that he does, the dance thingy that he does. I thought that was really cool. But obviously the best and most insane moment of the show, of the match, of the show as well, was bloody Shane doing the elbow drop from the top of the cell. He missed Taker through the announce table. Just absolutely insane moment. Absolutely insane. It looked like they had like some padding and shit underneath, which, you know, understandable. It's a big ass drop. Hopefully he's okay. I think he was, but hopefully he is alright after that. I haven't heard anything on the wrestling sites. He also had a coast to coast on Taker with a trash can, which looked like it hurt like fuck. Like Taker tried to like block it and move the trash can a bit, but it still looked like it hurt him a bit. And Shane was brutal and stiff with his punches. Like holy shit! Like I think that's why Taker had a black eye, because he got punched by Shane on Raw last week. But he was pretty stiff with some of those punches. Like they were legit hitting Taker. I'm surprised Taker, you know, didn't, you know, give him some stiff ones back. Maybe he did, but it didn't look like he did. But after the whole thing where he got nailed through the table, he's saying, "Bring it," and Taker said, "Bring it too," and then they get in the ring, and Taker like goes like that to him, and then hits the tombstone and wins. You know, it was a good match, and that spot is insane. That's one for the video packages and all that. Like you didn't think I was going to see something like that. You know, it was a really cool moment, and Cole went nuts when it happened. I think he said something like, "For the love of mankind" or something like that. He did well, Cole. There, he did really well. But yeah, you know, good match. I was hoping for like some sort of swerves or interferences or something. I love a good interference. And I thought Sting would have came, even though out of the Hall of Fame he retired. I really thought he might have came out and maybe cost Taker the match or something. But no, I did really hope for an interference or something though. Even Vince or something would have been cool. But yeah, still a good match. I enjoyed it. And oh yeah, after the match, you know, there's doctors and what have you came out and put him onto the strap thing. I don't know what you call it. They strapped him onto that board thing and plonked him on the I don't know, a little jeep car truck thing, whatever you call it. He plonked him on that, and as he was going up, he plonked his thumb up and gave a like that. He did that as well. So saying he was all right. Now next we move on to the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Another shocking ending to this match, as well as the people in it. This was a what the fuck moment as well. But Baron Corbin won this match. It was 9 minutes 41. I thought this match wasn't even going to happen. I only remembered about it during the Taker match. I was like, oh yeah, this bloody Memorial Battle Royal hasn't happened yet. I guess it's not happening. But people in this match, I'll start from the. Well, I'll just mention the people it wasn't advertised in it. Tatanka, like when I seen him, when I realized he was in it, because they just all came out, most of them, I was like, that's fucking Tatanka. Like, what the fuck is he doing there? And the other surprised people, was Baron Corbin. He was just ran out with him as well, and like no separate entrance for him. Diamond Dallas Page got his own entrance. I think Mark Henry did as well, and Kane, and Big Show. And last but not least, Shaquille O'Neal. What the fuck? And they were all going on about how him and Big Show like wanted to fight. And that was like almost 10 years ago, and now you're continuing this? Like, what the fuck? But they got eliminated pretty quickly. Like Fandango came in at one point before they got eliminated and started dancing. It was kind of funny. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Sanda. Like, he should have won it last year, and just haven't done anything with him. He's still over, you know. He's still over the ground. They just eliminated him. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with him. You know, they had gold, and they've just done nothing with it. You know, I don't know what that's about. But eventually it comes down to Henry eliminating Breeze, and then Kane and Henry go at it. Kane and Darren Young eliminate Henry. Kane eliminates Darren Young, and then the end comes with Baron out of nowhere, eliminating Kane and winning. Like I was really shocked by that, and I was really shocked in a good way. Like I'm happy that Baron Corbin won. I think he's really improved in the last while, especially promo wise. Like we didn't see NXT last week, that was his best promo that I've seen from him. He was really good. So hopefully, maybe he's getting called up or whatever, and hopefully doesn't get treated like shit like so many other guys have. He is a bigger kind of guy, so maybe Vince will be beating his meat or something to him. I don't know, but hopefully things go well for him if he is on the. I would think he's on the main roster now after winning that. It's not like it was on the kickoff show or anything like that. So yeah, hopefully good things for Baron. Now moving on to the next moment. This was I don't even know how to describe it. It was a weird moment. Lillian Garcia introduces the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. I guess if you like bouncing titties, you'll have been alright with this. But like I say, I'm here to say wrestling, not titties. But eventually, after their dancing, The Rock comes out and he has something. I thought it was like a t-shirt shooter or something, but it was a flamethrower. When I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, okay, he's got a fire gun." And then I don't know why I said that. And then Cole or JBL was like, "Oh, he's got a flamethrower," and I was like, "Oh yeah, flamethrower. What the fuck was I thinking? Fire gun." I've been up for far too long. I've been awake for far too long. It's to be expected. But eventually, he gets down to the ring and does his usual shit. Like when his music hit, I didn't even really react. I was just like, "Oh, okay, it's The Rock again." And was he sucking up to the crowd or what? Like every 2 seconds, "Oh, Dallas, Texas, right here in Dallas, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Dallas, Texas," over and over. I was like, Jesus Christ, are you sucking up for these people or what? Holy shit. And he just goes on and on and on and says about the WrestleMania attendance record. And I'm like, okay, could you not have just had Lillian announce it or something? Then the Wyatt family comes out. I was like, okay, here we go. Something interesting's gonna happen now. Bray Wyatt, speaking stiffs. Says The Rock represents a lie, and it's not The Rock's moment. It's not the fans' moment. It's Bray Wyatt. And he says he's going to eviscerate The Rock, and then The Rock, starts mocking them and whatever. And he had some funny, I will admit, The Rock had some pretty funny stuff to say about Wyatt and that. He said Wyatt sounds like he's been hitting the bong for 8 days straight. That was pretty funny. And he said to Rowan that Rowan's parents are clearly related. And Braun Strowman's been breastfed since he was 26. It was pretty funny, it really was. And eventually, he's saying all this. He's actually praising Bray Wyatt and saying all this stuff. And he said how he's the eater of worlds, but he says he looks like he's more the eater of hot pockets. Bray Wyatt says he's not here knocking the door, he's come to kick it down. And The Rock says they're not going to have a fight, they're going to have a match. Like, he took his shirt off and then he said that, and then he just rips his trousers off and he's got his bloody wrestling gear on. And then he says it can be a Wyatt or his 2 Duck Dynasty inbred bitches. That's pretty funny as well, but somebody's getting kicked all over Dallas, and then and then he took the shirt off. Okay. And it was The Rock versus Erick Rowan. I was like, what the fuck? And The Rock immediately hits a rock bottom and covers with a pin, and then Cole is jizzing about how it was a 6-second match and it was a record. And then they Wyatt's around the ring, and I was like, okay, Cena is coming here to save The Rock, and yeah, he did. Because it was rumored that Cena was gonna, return. He's been rehabbing like a mofo. John Cena's music hits as the crowd erupts and starts singing their own version of his theme song. Yeah, they were trying to John Cena sucks. Okay, yeah, we get that. But you know, they did their thing. The Rock, Strowman takes a rock bomb. Cena hits the five knuckle shuffle, and then the attitude adjustment on a Rowan. I thought Wyatt was maybe gonna actually do some stuff, but um, Cena blocks his sister Abigail. Rock hits a spinebuster in the people's elbow, and then The Rock welcomes Cena back and did his if you smell thing. I can't believe that Wyatt and that got destroyed. I thought this. I was like, okay, well maybe they're gonna do something with Bray and have him look good here, but no. Pretty much just fed him to The Rock and Cena. Um, but I think Bray Wyatt's ruined anyway. He's been ruined for a while, really. Should have won a lot of the matches that he's lost, but what can you do? I don't know what you can do really to rectify him now. You've kind of just treated him like shit for so long. I don't know how you could fix him now. And I just realised I've been yapping for 40 minutes. Holy shit! But we're on the final match now. We have Roman Reigns versus Triple H. It went 27 minutes 11 seconds. I didn't think it was that long, but in total, this show was like fucking 7 hours or something long. It's overkill. It's too much. Like that's why this review was so long, because there's so much to bloody talk about. But the time it was done, I was really bored. Like the match itself was all right. But it's just overkill. They need to stop with this whole trying to get everybody in the show. Just cut it back and put on a quality show from start to finish. Like save the guys that don't get used and use them on Raw and SmackDown the following day. But yeah, it was just overkill. It was like 7 hours long in total. Just too much, you know, just far too much. But Triple H's entrance was really cool, really cool. You see these bunch of crazy masked-looking guys. And then Stephanie McMahon's on this like structure thing. She had like the Triple H skull thing that he's often wears, and she gave this awesome like introduction thing. It was sort of like I don't know, like medieval times sort of thing, and how like Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are like this like sort of like tyrannical king and queen, and everybody else is like their minions and these poor people. I just thought it was so cool. I really did. Like, she looked cool. The whole thing that she was on looked cool, and all these masked dudes. And then Triple H comes out, and then they come down to the ring, and all the masked dudes are coming down to the ring as well. It was really cool. I thought it was awesome. Like, I seen somebody they said I thought it was shit, but no, I thought that was really cool. That was probably one of the best moments of WrestleMania. I thought that was so cool. Like when they got in the ring, I seen Triple H saying to Stephanie, he says, "How did that feel?" And she was like, "Awesome." And then they kissed. And then Roman Reigns comes out and he punches the floor, and then loads of pyro goes off, and even pyro on the outside of the stadium is going off. Thought that was maybe a bit overkill just for his entrance, but okay. And then they get on to the match. It was I think I was just because it was so long, but the match wasn't that like good. It was okay. It was kind of boring up until Reigns hit a bloody spear on Stephanie, because Triple H had like like Stephanie came in and like she was like distracting the ref. Like before this, Stephanie pulled the ref out to block him from counting three, because I think Reigns hit a spear or something. And also, yeah, they never did announce that no DQ thing. But Stephanie's eventually in the ring, and Reigns goes for a spear. Triple H moves out the way, so does the ref, and she gets speared. That was a pretty awesome moment. I won't be surprised if there's loads of like feminists and what have you complaining and moaning, because you can't do anything these days without somebody getting offended. Like there was something the other day I was reading about some video game. I think it was like League of Legends or something, where some female character had to be changed because you could see her ass or something. Like she was clothed, but you could see her like the clothing was tight on her or something, and you could see her butt cheeks or something, and somebody went nuts about that, and the company changed it over one complaint or something. Just utter bullshit. You know, I hate hearing about bullshit like that. Just too many oversensitive people and just complain about the slightest things. But anyways, after that point, you know, after the spear, you know, the match did seem to pick up a bit. I'm just looking through the recap here. And also the crowd was, you know, booing Roman Reigns quite a lot. Like anytime Reigns got offense, they were booing, and then when Triple H, they were cheering. Excuse me. Reigns saw his like lift up powerbomb thing twice. The crowd was still booing. I'm just trying to find the point where the spear happened. Oh yeah, there it goes. Then Triple H grabbed Reigns for a pedigree, but he kicked out. Eventually, like Reigns goes for another spear, but Triple H hit his running knee. Crowd went nuts for that in a good way. Then Stephanie hands Triple H the sledgehammer, but the ref sees it and is trying. Well, he didn't even try to stop it. He was just, you know, looking at it and like, no, don't do that, you fat it. But Triple H eventually gets Superman punched and another one. Reigns runs the ropes, ducks the sledgehammer, and gets speared. Then he spears Triple H and wins. I was like, oh, okay. But up until the Stephanie spear, it was kind of a meh kind of match. But it didn't really feel like a main event match to me, like quality wise. And I think it was just too much, you know. Like I said, I think it just too long of a show, and yeah, it just wasn't a great match. You know, it was all right, but didn't really seem like a main event match to me. Like I say, the best match was the first match, the ladder match. Jericho and AJ Styles was all right. You know, I think it was their best one. But for me, the triple threat was the triple threat women's match was the best match. Just action from start to finish. You know, same with the ladder match, action from start to finish, very good. Really enjoyed it. But I think just pushing the wrong people, pushing the wrong person in Roman Reigns as a face, like so many people are saying. I think just need to turn the guy heel. You know, I know Vince, you know, beat his meat to him or whatever, but I think it's time to turn him heel. I don't know if they were actually going to go with it, you know, since he was getting booed so much. But they did. I don't expect it to be much better on Raw. I could see some people were thinking that Roman will come out and do a promo or attempt a promo. Now he did have some better promos recently, but some people think like Dean will come out and sort of congratulate him, but then like Dean would be the one turning heel, but I think if Dean hit him, the crowd's gonna go nuts. If anyone's gonna go heel, it should be Reigns. They really need to go that way. I don't know how they can still keep thinking that Reigns is gonna go over. It just isn't gonna happen. They need to just realize that it's not gonna happen. But after the match, you know, Reigns is sitting and he's smiling and he's standing with the title, and the fireworks go off inside and outside. Cole plugs the Today Show appearance of Charlotte and Roman. And then which I thought was pretty cool, they did like a recap video package thing of the entire show. I thought that was pretty cool. I remember TNA used to do that years ago. I don't know if they don't really do pay-per-views now, so I don't know. And I don't watch TNA like I watch WWE, so I don't know if they still do that. I remember they used to do that at the end of their shows. But I thought that was a cool way to end it. But yeah, I'd give WrestleMania like a B, between a C and a B. I did think it was good. some people just think because Roman wins that means it's the worst WrestleMania ever, but they're not true fans in my opinion. If you think that one thing ruins the entire show, you're not a true fan. You're not a true fan. I spoke about stuff like that before, like when Sting debuted at Survivor Series and what have you. People instantly thought that was the best pay-per-view ever. I spoke about that before, but I don't want to speak about it anymore because I'm really tired and 50 fucking minutes, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. So if you have stuck through this entire video, I really appreciate it. And tell me what you thought of the show, whether you enjoyed it or not. Did I mention the Stardust Dusty Rhodes ladder? I don't know if I did, but yeah, that was a thing. I don't think there's much more to say. I need to go get some sleep because I've been up for far too long. Like I've been sitting on my ass far too long. I'm really tired, but I think I'm gonna go and just do some sort of workout or something, just because I've been sitting on my ass for so long. Like yesterday, yeah, it was yesterday now. I was watching the Hall of Fame for ages. It didn't last as long, but it was as last year, I don't think, but it was still long. Too long. I think they induct too many people each year. And then there was, when I got finished it, there was like the videos on WWE's YouTube channel. There was a ton of them, and I was like, okay, watch this. And like an hour later, I refreshed the page. There's more fucking videos. I'm like, for fuck's sake. And eventually I got caught up. And I was catching up with WWE's Twitter and that. I'm not doing that right now because this video is going to take ages to upload, so I just won't be doing that right now. And then I got on to watching WrestleMania, but I wonder what I hot there. It was just hot in my bed. But yeah, I'm gonna go and just do something just to not be sitting on my ass, because my ass was numb. It was. That's a weird thing to say, but it was with sitting for so long watching the Hall of Fame and that. Yeah, I don't really know what more to say, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed WrestleMania and you're not one of those fans that just hate the show just because Roman Reigns won or whatever. I can't stand people like that say it's like the worst WrestleMania ever. Just because of that, the build to it wasn't the greatest. I did say that the build could have been better, but the matches, were good. Were good for the most part. They were good matches. Obviously, not all were great, but it was not the worst WrestleMania in my opinion. It really wasn't. I just think people are too. I don't know. They're too. I don't know the word, but I don't agree with the people that are too hating on the show all the time, finding a way to complain about something, like everything. They'll find a way to complain about any little thing. Like there'll be like the most awesome moment, like Shane McMahon returning, and people will still find a way to complain about it. But yeah, that's it. 53 minutes. This video is too long. Hope you watched the whole thing. Hope you enjoyed the show, and yeah, I need to go get some sleeps. Bye.